but I think that, people kind of, don't always want to see all the digital books and all that stuff. But, if I only have 4 copies of a book and I got 10 kids that want to read it, they don't have access to that material. If I have digital copies and physical copies, I can now share that. So we do have to work on, providing digital content because it would be unlimited access to students to have.
My name is Alex Lopez with Corrigan Clark and Issues in Education. With us, we have Stephen Chapman. Thank you so much for your time. And how are you enjoying CUBE in Miami?
Obviously, CUBE is an amazing conference, a lot of great networking, a lot of great content around how we need to make sure that we're serving all of our students. Certainly, Miami is a great city to host events.
We've had some pretty good weather, although, we've been inside most of the time, learning and doing the conference thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Great weather inside, great weather outside. CUBE puts on some great events, great content. So, it's great that we're finally coming back in person the last couple of years. So
let's talk about that. So you're a board member at Tolleson Union School District in Phoenix.
Phoenix, yep. West Phoenix, sure.
Okay. One of the things we are is obviously architects, and we deal a lot with educators and board members, superintendents. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, finances are always an issue, right? But in a perfect world, if finances, money was no object, what does your perfect classroom look like?
Yeah, I think generally, perfect classroom, it's definitely an open space concept with, different kinds of furniture, laptop or some sort of, digital computer devices, available for students to utilize in the classroom. But for me, also making sure that it's individualized. If we have robotics classes, things like that, I want 3D printers in there. I want, medical programs. I want to see medical devices, things in there. So definitely want to individualize them, but make them open enough. So not to cram, 40 kids in there. We don't need that. Mm-hmm. But so there's space to do activities because, some kids are can learn on a lecture, things like that. Some kids need to play with something, work with it. So having the space to do that, especially in lab sciences and stuff.
More of a collaborative environment versus just a lecture environment.
Right. And then certainly on the safety side, we need to make sure that, we got, right kinds of doors. If there's going to be windows in there, that, things are as protected as possible. Unfortunately, we still live in a society where we got to, worry about, the worst case scenario, is where we used to just kind of be able to focus on the classroom and maybe a couple of fights that would happen a semester. Now we have to, think about the unthinkable, whether we know what those threats are or not. So certainly, one of the, so we built new school recently, and that was on the forefront of our mind is security. How do we secure the front office where community members check in? How do we secure the classrooms that are inside that building? Creating buffer zones. So the sports fields all of our sports programs are not connected inside the campus. Mm-hmm. People that don't need to be on campus aren't on campus. Mm-hmm. Everything is perimeter based, and how the design was. The problem is you have older schools, so now you have to refurb them to how they're already outfitted, mm-hmm. and still make them secure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, endless funding, definitely security and definitely open concept kind of classrooms.
Right. I mean, you and I grew up with a library, right? A bunch of books and the Dewey Decimal System.
I missed the Dewey Decimal System
really?
by a little. Yeah.
Now I showed
I was born in '88.
Stephen,
I've heard of the Dewey Decimal System.
You read it.
I've heard of 8 tracks.
You looked it up on Google. My gosh!
We had Google. We had Wikipedia.
You made me laugh.
Nice tip. Don't use Wikipedia for your research, but you can use little links at the bottom where they reference things. Those will usually take you to some good insights.
I thought if it's not in Wikipedia, it's not true. It didn't happen.
Right? It depends on, you can go on there and edit Wikipedia however you want, and then just print it out, show your teacher, well, it says this.
Yeah. That's research, right?
Exactly.
So, we've moved from your traditional libraries to, your instructional materials center to your innovation centers. I mean, it's the same name for the same, it's a different name for the same space, right? And so volumes themselves are shrinking because information is getting smaller. And so we have to reinvent these spaces as architects. Again, in a perfect world, what does this look like to you from the built environment point of view?
Yeah, I mean, I think we do need to still have physical books. I mean, I think it's important to see those things, touch those things. I mean, I try to read when I can. It was a struggle for me because all the reading material in school didn't always get to pick what I wanted to. But but we do need to have access to digital content. So for me, a library and innovation center. So like our newest school is a very large innovation center. So we do have physical books, a good amount of physical books on carts that move around. So we can use the space for community meetings, things like that. We have like a small stage and big TV where we can do presentations to the community, large classroom space, things like that. And then on the walls, we actually have 4 classrooms, 2 on each side. It's 2-story, so 4 on each side altogether. Some of them have maker spaces. Some of them are like computer labs, things like that. So it is, a full multi-purpose library technology center. But I think people kind of, don't always want to see all the digital books and all that stuff. But, if I only have 4 copies of a book and I got 10 kids that want to read it, they don't have access to that material. If I have digital copies and physical copies, I can now share that. So we do have to work on, providing digital content because it's, it would be unlimited access to students to have.
Yeah, it's definitely more readily available, and there's some advantages to that. But I am a reader, and there's something about holding that paper book,
Sure.
and maybe I don't know, in our Chicago winters, I like to kind of snuggle by the fire and read a few chapters, right? I mean, in Phoenix, you got to you like to get out of the sun.
You're
don't
not
you?
snuggling by the fire in Phoenix, unless you just go outside.
Stephen, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a good time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, come back anytime.